Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marvel Plus podcast, the show where we talk the Marvel shows on Disney Plus and how they connect to the MCU. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat if you're a sub, talk some theories, talk some thoughts about the show with us. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. It's put on podcast services and YouTube the very next day, Monday at noon Eastern, so you can check it out over there and let us know your thoughts in the comments. All right, so yes, today we were talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 6, One World, One People, aka the finale to this excellent series that we have had. Another good episode. I think it did a good job of tying things in a knot for the most part. We talked about last episode on the podcast how we had, I think there was like 2 things they'll wrap up and 2 things they won't wrap up. I'm not 100% sure on what I said was going to happen for sure. But we kind of got that. We kind of got some things that were okay, finished, finale, ended, and then we have some other things that are still open doors that are going to lead to probably more or just more questions. I don't know. But let's get right into it with the summary and the thoughts as the episode went on. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So let's get on to it. So we open up with the Flag Smashers getting a little recap that they're trying to stop the GRC vote for reclosing off borders, relocating everybody, etc. So global resettlement, as they talked about, and we see that the lockdown is happening for the senators because they're obviously in danger with the break-in. We get the little tease, Falcon zooming in to save the day. It's called some backup in as Bucky is walking up to the situation, which Papa Griff mentioned in an earlier conversation. A little weird that Bucky's just like, hey, walks up and the guys are like, yeah, go on ahead, Sergeant Barnes. Like, obviously he's recognizable, but just a little lax compared to, other interactions I guess we've seen with Bucky and Authority. I don't know. Seemed odd or just weird in a way. So yes, everybody's gathering towards this lockdown, towards the GRC vote situation. And like I said, Sam reports to Bucky saying that he has called in some backup. Turns out the backup was Sharon. Or at least I'm guessing it was Sharon. I was a little confused by this because Sam seemed a little surprised by it too when Bucky mentioned Sharon. So, question mark on that? But anyway, Sharon shows up as well, incognito with her high tech, and she is there to help them out. We see that Leaper is in the building with the GRC senators taking control of the situation, and we see that they are splitting the senators into 3 groups. There was like one group that was going in the basement in these trucks. There was one going in the helicopters on the roof. I don't remember exactly what the third one is, but they're trying to separate them to kind of keep the, make sure they're not all in one place. So like split them up to attempt to limit the amount of damage that could be done. So yeah, we see Leaper doing his thing, trying to work his way or help the senators get away with the Flag Smasher crew, and we get Sam zooming in, making his grand entrance with the suit. And hot damn, does it look good. Little bright on the white, I think. Kind of looks a little puffy too. I think the white should have been a little, I don't know, grayed out. Not grayed out, but like it seemed very bright and vibrant. Now I get it's a new suit, so I should take that with a grain of salt. But we get the new reveal of the suit. Looks awesome. The new wings, everything. Him with the shield. They have their little altercation and fight. One of the senators randomly says, "Who are you?" Sam says, "I'm Captain America." And then the senator says, "Oh, I thought Captain America was on the moon?" What? Is this a reference to the Avengers game where he was on the moon? Or is this a Secret Invasion reference with Nick Fury? I just thought it was really like one of those toss-away lines similar to Sokovia a couple episodes back. They're just like, why would we include that if that meant nothing? So I think that's going to wrap around and come back to bite us in the ass at some point. So yeah, Leaper and Sam have the little fight, the little altercation. Bam, bam, bam. They're going at it. We see Bucky reporting in downstairs, making it into the building. Just an odd note. I was taking a lot of notes as I was watching this episode, just trying to write down everything. I like how the metal detector doesn't register Bucky's arm, but Sharon has something with her that makes the thing go off. I was like, okay. All right. Weird. So like I said, they're splitting it into the three. Then Bucky gets a phone call from someone in the building, like just hands him a phone and says, "Oh, it's Carly trying to talk to you." So Carly's all distressed. "Why don't you understand our cause? Blah, blah, blah. This is what we're trying to do." And she's kind of like trying to talk to Bucky about like understanding her point. And Bucky's not considering it, but he's trying to reach out also and be like, "This isn't what you want to do," stuff like that. So we have the weird like last second phone call to try and save face, I guess you could say. So doesn't work. As this is going on, we see that the Flag Smashers have more connections into this lockdown, and there's a bigger guy that is leading the senators to the police vehicles down in the basement, and he's essentially trapped them in these cars without them knowing. Sharon picks up on this, places a tracker on the big guy. Well, I thought it was a tracker. Turns out it's a poison bomb, and we just acid the guy, and Jesus, mercury vapor. Very gross. So there was that. Mrs. G points out the phone call was just a distraction to keep him away. Gotcha. Yeah, because they were able to get away. Bucky messed up there, but tries to chase down with the motorcycle. It's a good point there. So yeah, we see more action with Sam. He's trying to chase down the helicopters because obviously he has the ability to fly. The other two don't. And we see Red Wing returns. New Red Wing. Yeah! So he's going to scan the prisoners, kind of see what is going on there. It seems like Carly's getting desperate. She's trying to pep talk her Flag Smashers that are set to intercept the ground vehicles of the senators. And her people are very kind of timid and like scared of how far Carly is going. They do the whole one people, one world chant, and the guys like one world, one people. They don't reciprocate right away. They're like all just like, I don't know, this isn't right. So a group's kind of falling apart there. And yeah, like I said, Carly seems desperate. She keeps saying the movement will move on even after she's dead. It's big enough. And yeah, she's kind of on her last string. So yes, we see that. Where are we at? Hold on. So they get the trucks, or they attempt to take the trucks. And we see that Carly is kind of struggling at this point because we get faux Captain America. We get John Walker returning with his handmade shield, or crafted, welded shield, whatever you want to call it. And he's taking the fight to her. So she's decided to burn one of the trucks to attempt to make John to decide, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to save this situation? They have their little conversation beforehand about Lamar and how he wasn't supposed to die in this, and she said he didn't matter, and John takes it the wrong way. And like, John was very aggressive in this fight between him and Carly. Like, pins her down. There's a lot of like, he's going like really heavy with these strikes, trying to take care of her. So like I said, Carly gets away with the truck, leaving her Flag Smasher help, but also leaving the one. So I think Bucky saves the first truck by ripping off the whatever latch or lock was in the back. So yippee, those senators are saved. Swell. Carly's got the other truck. She's going, doing her thing. Meanwhile, Falcon has gone, or Captain America, has gone and saved the helicopter crew. Thankfully, one of the senators in that helicopter can fly, Thank goodness. So contacts her, lets her know the plan through earbuds, which I thought was funny. Just that you can randomly call her. But they saved that. So the aerial senators are good. We have the one truck that has been saved by Bucky. The second truck is with Carly. I don't know about that third group, wherever they went. So we got Bucky fighting a flag smasher down in like this pit. And Carly decides to ditch the van of senators and put their lives at danger, or in danger, to try and get away again. John attempts to save it. Doesn't work. Unfortunately, loses his grip or whatever it is. So he's had this moment of like, do I go after Carly? Do I save people? This was the moment I was kind of alluding to earlier. My bad. He decides, I'm going to do the right thing. He's come to the realization that good things, hero, need to be that. So he attempts to save the truck. Unfortunately, does not have the ability to do it. It gets kind of falls down more into the pit. Captain America swoops in, lifts it up. There was 2 Red Wings, like itty-bitty Red Wings, that were also helping save. So we got that. We got this big fanfare with all these people around. Yeah, that's Captain America. Awesome. So we get that cool moment. A lot of cool moments for Sam. Coming out party for him. So yeah, we get that. The Smashers got involved with John too, to attempt to stop him with the truck. Thankfully, Sam came in. So we got trouble there. We got the Flag Smashers and Carly are in the pit with Walker, with Bucky, with Sam. Then we randomly get some smoke bombs. Leapers returned, giving them a little bit of cover to run away. So, Flag Smashers run away with Carly. Luckily, Sam, with his new suit, has these thermal goggles that are able to pursue after them. So we get this weird maze construction area that they kind of lose them. Meanwhile, while these smoke bombs are going on, we kind of get cutbacks to Sharon every once in a while, which she's just kind of observing the situation. I thought this was odd. Bucky reports into Sharon, hey, we're going down here, we're going to try and cut them off, etc. While he's doing this, or shortly after, Sharon just finds Carly. Bam. Awesome. And it seems like they have some kind of past connection. She brings up Madripoor, and I'm disappointed in you. We get our big reveal. Sharon is the power broker. Allegedly. As far as we're led to believe right now. Sharon's the power broker. Sharon is the one that's pulling all the strings here with the super soldiers. They stole them from her. Blah, blah, blah. Threatening Carly's life. Leaper shows up. Leaper was hired by Sharon to spy on Carly and the Flag Smashers. We get this whole dance. He wants more money. He wants that. He's not going to reveal the secret. If he doesn't get paid, he will. Let everybody know. Guns are drawn. We get a shot. From what I understood in this, because it's kind of hard to see, Sharon shoots the Leaper. But then she falls herself. So I think Carly maybe shot her? It was some weird, triangle thing. I was wondering if maybe she had shot herself. But Leaper is out of the picture. So I assume she shot Leaper, thinking about it now, and Carly shot her. So she's hurt. I'm like, great. She's going to use this as cover for herself to not get found out, kind of thing. So, swell. Leaper's dead. Nice return for him. Glad we used him a little bit more. Oh, well. Wasn't the strongest villain, but like I said last time, it's nice that they're using these lesser-known property characters to do more with, not just one and done. So, yes. So now I'm like, shit. Sharon's got, can use this to her advantage to kind of stay incognito with our main characters. So, we got that. We cut back to the Flag Smasher allies that we've seen the past couple episodes. They're trying to escape. And one of them, she's on her phone, and she's like, okay, we're meeting up at this point. Run up, past the corner. Hey, Bucky and John Walker just hanging out there. And Bucky, with the phone, is like, oh, this app is pretty good. So I thought that was funny. They tied the app back into it. We captured the Flag Smashers there with the cops' assistance. Sam stumbles upon Carly and Sharon. Carly, very aggressive, once again, very desperate in her situation, is just going out full-blown attack on Sam. And Sam is refusing to fight back. He's pretty much just doing everything in defensive mode. Carly's going at it. Sharon decides, I'm going to finish it off. Wow, shoots Carly. Great. Even more cover. So Carly is now, we presume, and we'll find out later, dead. She's been killed. Sam's not super happy about it, but I mean, at this point, he doesn't know Sharon's alternative motive or ulterior motives. So he just takes this like, you saved my life. So, we got that. Now, something I found that was odd. I wrote the note down here for what was in her hand. I'm trying to remember if it was Carly's hand or Sharon's hand. They kept cutting to one of them. I want to say it's Carly's hand. They cut to her hand a few times, and she seemed to be grasping something. I'm wondering what that was. I don't think we ever get an answer for it, but I thought that was odd. I don't think it was her just like grabbing at her chest, being like, I got shot, you know. It seemed like she was holding on to something. So I thought that was odd. But once again, doesn't really seem to come to fruition of anything that I saw, maybe at least down my memory right now. So there's that. I was wondering also in this point with Sam carrying Carly in to the hospital, reporting back. I was wondering if this was going to kind of maybe put Sam in a negative light. Like, oh crap, like this Cap's just killing people like John Walker was, you know. But all good. Just, you know, hey, he's a hero. So glad that was the case. A lot of media there. A lot of people asking questions. Are you Captain America? Do we still refer to you as Falcon? What do we call you? What is this? Are you working with the government? Was clearly shouted out there. A lot of media going out. And then Sam proceeds to chew out the senators. Which rightfully so. He should. He mentions how, like, you can see obviously what this girl has done and the damage she's done, or at least the traction she's done. You don't want to see version 2.0. You don't want to see the next one. So there has to be some kind of change. You can't be asking for all these things and not reaching out a hand at least, you know, halfway, trying to do something else. So everybody's getting this, media's getting it, people on their phone are getting it. Like, he's speaking his truths, what he believes in, letting people know his message and what he stands for. Just people being treated correctly, not America only kind of thing. So we got that out there. Obviously, a lot of good reputation. There we go. Jesus put out there for him, getting his message out there so people can get behind him and believe in what he is. Speech was awesome. Really made an impact on the senators. It was just needed. Exactly. 100% agree with that. So yeah, we got that. Ooh, some of these notes are not good because it's just quick little points there. We report back. We see that the Flag Smasher people are obviously being taken away to custody. They're going to the raft. As they're being packed into the back of the armored vehicle, the last, I think it was a military guy, maybe it was a cop, says the whole one world, one people. Great. They got connections fucking everywhere. Shuts the door. Okay, they can go. They're going. And then all of a sudden, big explosion. The car is dead. Or the van is dead. All the Flag Smashers are dead. And we get this little pan up to a little older car. And it turns out, I did not realize it right away. It took me a few seconds after the next cut to realize who it is. Turns out it's Zemo's butler, finishing off what Zemo had wanted, to eliminate the super soldiers because he's not a fan of them. We cut to Zemo in prison. He hears it on the radio. He's all happy and excited. Yeah! So, Flag Smashers are no more. Those super soldiers have been eliminated from this bomb by the butler. So, there was that. So yeah, that was a big oh fuck moment. So after this, everything's settled, dust is settled, the event is done. We cut back to, was it Val or whatever her name is, Dreyfus's character. She's hanging out with John Walker's wife's like, oh, what's taking him so long? Blah, blah, blah. We got a new suit for John. As he's trying this on, Dreyfus is kind of playing coy with the whole situation, I thought. She's like teasing, like, oh, did I have something to do with all the Flag Smashers getting eliminated? No, that couldn't be me. But what if it was? Blah, blah, blah. Like, going back and forth. Like, that was odd. It's hard to read her. What is going on with this situation? Obviously, I don't think it's good. I think we talked about it last episode. A lot of questions surrounding her and her character, her motivations. What the fuck is going on? But we see the new suit. We got new armor for Walker, and we have finally called him what he was in the comics. He is now officially U.S. agent, slightly updated costume, very comic, accurate. Great. So John, as we've seen, has kind of turned over a new leaf. Hopefully he could continue to be good. Whatever Val is doing in this situation, that's going to be the big question mark, is like, okay, what are her intentions? Is she Hydra? Is she something else? And how guided is he going to be or misled as the U.S. agent? So is he good or bad as a U.S. agent? So from me, what I'm thinking is U.S. agent is good. Now he's good. He's had this moment of, what's the word or what's the phrase that you call it when somebody's got redemption. He's had this redemption arc. Now, I'm not saying like everything is all hunky-dory. He still murdered a guy, but he's had this personal redemption arc of like, instead of just going revenge arc on Carly for Lamar, he had the moment of decision of, I need to help now. I need to help these senators in danger. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it fully with the Flag Smashers getting involved, but he's had this redemption part. Hopefully he can stay good to himself and good in general, and we get another side character. Like I said, the big question is, who is he working for with Val, and how misled is he going to get? Like, is he going to be manipulated? That's the thing. So, a lot of questions on U.S. Agent, but right now, as far as I stand, I feel he's a good guy. Could be a good side character for the next Captain America movie or wherever we go from here. A lot of questions from there. So, yes, we have U.S. Agent confirmed. They said the name. I made a little note. Glad a little redemption for him, honestly. That's great. Hopefully he can stay good. And then we kind of get the wrap-up, or this continued wrap-up, because John was the first one. Bucky's reporting into his old friend that we saw in episode 1, the older Asian man. So we get that. Kind of a tough moment. He's honest with the old man, saying that he killed his son, murdered his son, as the Winter Soldier, and it wasn't by choice. I can't imagine that being an easy thing to do. And we also see that he gifts back the journal of his list to the therapist, saying thank you to her for her help. So Bucky has had his moments. We go to Sam meeting up with Isaiah one more time, and Isaiah's kind of proud of him. He's, he wasn't like fully behind him on what he decided to do, but like he can see that like Sam was right in a way. Like what he's trying to do is good, and like I said, he's proud of him. Sam also has a little surprise and favor, return of favor for Isaiah, and he has brought a Isaiah Bradley monument, or added it into the museum where all of Cap's stuff is. Isaiah breaks down in tears. He's very, happy and thankful for this, and so is the grandson, nephew, I don't know, whoever this relative is. It's going to be interesting to see if the relative, if he comes back, because I know I was trying to look up connections for Isaiah previous episodes, and I've been meaning to bring it up, but the kid is actually Patriot, who I brought up also a few episodes ago when I was talking about Lamar and Battlestar. He will, in the comics, he turns into Patriot, which is like a sidekick for Captain America. I don't know if they're going to fully go that route, but just interesting to know that this character exists in the universe. How did they get the statue in the museum so quickly? Good question. We don't know the passage of time either for this, but maybe he had talked to somebody before. Maybe he talked to Torres, or I don't know. I don't know who he would have honestly had connections with to get that done, but he did, and it was a nice thing for Sam to do. We also learned the GRC vote was stopped, so they're not moving forward with relocating and resettling everybody. And then we get the party time. Yeah, everybody on the boat. Hanging out, have a good time. We get the end credits. We get the official rename of the series, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. A little nice touch there. Credits. Roll. Mid-credit scene. We see that Sharon is getting her full pardon. Papa Griff asked earlier, what is her pardon for? I think the full pardon was for something with stealing with Cap's shield against the Sokovia Accords that we kind of alluded to in earlier episodes. I think it was something with that. I don't know what other things she was personally involved with, but that's the thing I'm leaning on or remembering. Maybe someone else in chat remembers that better. But she's getting her full pardon. She also gets offered her old position back. Now, she was part of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think that was like part of like a side thing. I don't know. Anyway, she's getting her old position back. She says that's interesting. It seems like she's going to take it. So I'm like, great. She's going to infiltrate through it. Blah, blah, blah. She gets the phone call. Or calls someone. Who the fuck is she talking to? So I said earlier, allegedly, she's the power broker. Is she not the power broker? Is this person on the phone who we keep talking to the power broker? Is it somebody completely different? What's going on with Sharon? whole mess of questions. And my final note on here about the mid-credit scene was, great. She's evil like she is in the comics, so we're going this route. There was a lot of questions when she first showed up in Winter Soldier if she was going to be evil, because she has had evil roots in the past in the comics, trying to mess with Steve. She obviously was good for a while. We saw that. Great. She's going evil. Fine. Obviously, keeps the story rolling. But it's just like, what is going on? Jeff says he got the impression she was talking to an underling, having them get the wheels turning. Maybe. It could just be one of her lackeys. I mean, earlier, last episode, maybe it was episode 4, she was on that phone with somebody with a German accent. Yeah, we'll have to see. If she is actually power broker, it would make sense. If it's the second in command or something like that. I don't know. It was interesting. Whether she was reporting in to a higher up or just filling somebody in. So yeah, she's back in. But yeah, that was the finale. Like I said, it kind of went quick. I thought it was good overall. Once again, couple things kind of solidified. We got the finish to the Flag Smashers. We got the finish for Zemo so far, as far as we know. He got his wish of the super soldiers being taken care of, except for John and Bucky. Will he return? He seems cool with Bucky. I don't know if he's cool with John. Probably not. So we'll have to see. But at least we know where Zemo is. He's in the raft. He's locked up. Is there potential for him to return down the road? Absolutely, obviously. But that will be a wait and see thing. So I would say those are two wrapped up in nice bows. And then on the other side of thing, I think these might have been the points I made last episode, but we have the two open-ended things. We have the power broker situation. We got the answer that it's Sharon, allegedly. But we still don't know what's fully going on with that. And then we have Val, or whatever her name is, Dreyfus's character. What is the motivation and tie-in for her? So I've heard rumors that this series is going to be continuing on to a season 2 at some point. Jeff mentioned it earlier. They have announced that Captain America 4 is a thing. So will this just kind of lead into the movies or the film? We'll have to see. Contessa Fontaine is Val's character. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, good episode overall. I think the suit looks fantastic. I'm curious if the wings are made of vibranium similar to the shield. Because there was a couple moments where they showed like him using them like almost as a big ass shield when something was falling on top of them and stuff like that. So it looks cool. Suit looks great. Like I said, the white is really bright and vibrant. I get it. It's a brand new suit. I kind of wish that was dulled back maybe a little bit because it looks almost a little cheesy with that. And some areas look a little puffy. I don't know. But there's that. You guys are saying vibranium. Okay. But yeah, suit looks great. Excited to see Sam continue his route as Captain America. See where Bucky goes from here. Obviously, seems to be fully healed. We keep saying that, and then something else comes up. But glad for those two. I'm glad for John having his redemption arc. Hopefully he can stay good. And Jeff mentions that Dreyfus's character is Lady Hydra. So that could be issues there. We'll have to see what kind of revival Hydra has and what role they play. Let's see. You guys are putting in some questions and theories earlier. Let's see what we got here. So I assume Ms. G brought up how she got there. I assume with her super spy stuff, like that wasn't too much of a problem there. So I never really thought about questioning that. Started out as a jerk for John Walker. He started out as a jerk, then was all right. Then at the end, not sure. Still seems like a bit of a jerk. I don't know. He seemed like he seemed more confident in himself at the very end. Like when he has the suit on, like he seemed happy and just in a better place. So that was how I took it. Let's see. I think Papa Griff put something over here. Can you run down the power structure you believe to be the case? As in Carter, Julia's character, Zemo. Is the U.S. agent good or evil? Okay. So, as of right now, I'm thinking this isn't going to help or answer your question too much. I think each character is their own separate chain of command. And what I mean by that is there's no interweavings here. Nobody's reporting to other people. I think everybody's doing their own thing. So Carter, as the power broker, obviously has friends. Madripoor, she's very, has a lot of connections with. So I would assume that's where her power lies. Julia, Contessa, there's not a lot of that we know about her either. We know she showed up randomly. There's the ties to Hydra if, they're going that route with the comic books and the identity. So there's that. But other than that, we don't know too much. We haven't heard her talking to anybody else as far as I know. We have the business card that was blank. She's a big outlier here. With U.S. Agent in having her backing, like I said, I personally feel like U.S. Agent is good because he's had this redemption arc. It's just a question of from here, where does he go? What does he do? Is it going to be a matter of like his own sanity? Can he keep himself healthy and in the right mindset? Or is he going to be misled by Contessa, by this group who he's, seemingly having a second chance with, where he's putting his faith into it? Yeah, because he seems fine with Bucky and Sam afterwards, too. So I was taking it as good. And as for Zemo, he's in prison right now. He's had his quest fulfilled of eliminating the super soldier serum. So, like, his motivation right now, at least, doesn't seem like all that much. He wasn't attempting to break out of prison, as far as we know, from the German facility. So, he might be just happy chilling in the raft. With him being alive, like, there's always the potential for a return. I just don't know 100% what he'd be returning for, if that makes sense. If he was going to Wakanda for those crimes, like, that could tie into Black Panther 2. But I think, honestly, King T'Chaka was kind of, I don't know if he was collateral damage because he was still trying to send that message. But, like, that could tie into Black Panther 2, but I don't know if they're going to go that route with him being in the raft compared to Wakandan prison, if that makes sense. Let's see. What else do we have? We talked about the vibranium wings. John's character you're not in love with, says Mr. G. Fair enough. Walker's an anti-hero in the comics. Yeah, he fills a similar role in the comics like he did here. I don't know if he ever goes off on the deep end like he did in this episode, but he is essentially the government's Captain America. So, like, I don't think we're supposed to love him, but like I said, as far as I feel right now, he's a good guy. Let's see, the business card could look blank, but maybe if you look under Blacklight or something comes up. Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's some secret behind it. I doubt she just is like, here's a junk piece of paper. So, it was that. Why did Zemo want to eliminate the soldiers again? He wanted to eliminate the super soldiers for a while. He started this back in Civil War, which we saw with was it Siberia? Wherever the frozen tundra is, where he shot all of them in the tubes in the head. He wants to get rid of them because they're unnatural. I think he mentioned it in a previous episode in this season, to be honest. Yeah, he just feels like it's unnatural and that people shouldn't have that power and ability. He broke Bucky out. I'm trying to think back to Civil War. He did. I think he was breaking Bucky out in Civil War from using the code words. I think he was doing that. There must have been some information he was trying to gain at that facility. He was using Bucky as a distraction for the rest of the Avengers to get info, I think, about Syria, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've watched the film, so I'd have to go back and kind of get clarity on that. But I think that was the reason. And then he was going to take out Bucky from there. Or maybe he was hoping that the Avengers would take out Bucky because they couldn't trust him. That's my thought. But I'd have to rewatch it, honestly, to feel more accurate with that answer. So I would take that with a grain of salt. Yeah. So, as of right now, he seems okay with Bucky. I don't know if he's going to have any work cut out towards John or whatever, but that just kind of explains that finish with the Butler finishing off the Flag Smashers and the bomb. I think we all need to watch them over. Yeah. Everybody buckle in. Go for the 21 movies in a row. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of info that obviously are covered in these films, and then obviously now we're adding more with these series. There's a lot of dots to connect from earlier ones to how they obviously go on in the later ones, and then later on you're like, oh, there was this thing that was referenced here. A lot of things to kind of keep track of, and I mentioned this, I don't remember if it was this podcast or maybe it was WandaVision, but like, it's going to be interesting to see how long this goes for without like backlash from the general audience. Now, at this point, it seems like everybody's on board where people are like more willing to do homework and look things up and ask questions and have these conversations. But at some point, there's got to be that turning point, I would think, of like, this is all way too much. There's so many like characters I got to keep track of, storyline, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a lot. And I can't deny it. Like, it's a lot to handle and take on. And that's why, these conversations are great to try and be like, oh yeah, this person was doing this thing, or this could connect to this, but I don't know 100%. And it's just going to get more and more convoluted, unfortunately, with Phase 4. We're adding, more heroes. We're getting sequels for other ones. And obviously all these series that, like, maybe not seem like the most important thing and on a face value, but obviously have to have some tie-in, or else why are we doing it? Like the Black Widow movie, like something important has to happen in that movie, or else why are we doing it? We all know the fate of Black Widow at this point. She's dead. Why are we going in her past now? Why didn't she get a solo movie before Endgame? So we got that. Is the sister going to take over the Black Widow mantle? Is Taskmaster this big baddie that we need to build up? If so, I'm cool with that. There's got to be something important in this movie to connect in, because everything's got some tie-in. We are a Shang-Chi trailer. We have a tie-in and references from past Iron Man movies and the Mandarin. So we get that kind of connection going. There's always something going on. Nothing can just be like, oh, this is brand new, and like no reason to put this out. Like, there's always these connective tissues and ties. So it's just going to be interesting to see how it goes, and hopefully we can keep it all in track. Let's see. Papa Griff says, so sorry for being dumb. Never dumb asking a question. That's why we're here, to talk about it. Can you tell me how Sharon Carter fits? She's relation to who? Peggy and Steve? Just Peggy? Where did she go south? So she is related to Peggy only bloodline-wise. She's related to Steve technically with the time travel through marriage. She's Peggy's niece. So the reason she went all south, that's another facet of her character where we have a lot of questions. As far as we're led to believe, she went south from the blip, being gone for 5 years. She was dusted out, comes back. She already had the heat. Well, I think she was blipped. Maybe she wasn't blipped. Maybe it was the 5 years she was stuck around. Shit. They mentioned it early on. Maybe she was on... I don't think she was blipped. Excuse me. It was the 5 years when people were dusted that a lot of her problems had happened, because that's when Madripoor stuff happened. Excuse me. So she already has heat for the shield, helping Cap and Sam steal the shield. She has the heat from that. She kind of took the fall. That's why she's not super happy seeing Sam right at the beginning when they first meet her in Madripoor. Seems like she took the heat there. So during that time of like, I'm doing the right thing, I've, paid my dues or whatever it is, like she got the short end of the stick, it seems. So we have that hostility there. Whatever she has built in Madripoor, where from what we've seen, it's a very cutthroat, like no shits given area. She's kind of gotten grizzled and kind of had to just do what she needs to do in order to get power, in order to get an advantage, in order to make her living. So there's a lot of info we're missing of like specifics, but I think these are the elements that have kind of caused her to be more selfish, look out for herself, and kind of cover her own ass, if that makes sense. So yeah, something just kind of pushed her over the edge of like, I'm looking at, or my focus is in the wrong area, and I need to focus on me, and because no one else will care. Like people didn't check in on me, people didn't look out for me like I was looking out for them, etc. So that's why like she played this whole thing with Sam and Bucky to, obviously, as we see in the end, the mid-credit scene, like get back to a position of power, or where she can infiltrate and get advantages for herself with, I think someone mentioned it, like getting this information out there to people who, are enemies of America, or, whatever. Is Bucky officially White Wolf now, or is that still coming? So I don't know if that's going to come officially. It hasn't yet. I don't know if that's just one of those Easter egg teasers that they just kind of throw in there for like the hardcore fans to be like, oh, they said it, and they're referencing it. We've gotten 3 mentions of it, I think. We got it when, obviously, in Infinity War, first mention. We get it again in episode 3, whenever the Wakandans show up. And we get it again when they take Zemo away to the raft. It's hard to say if they'll actually commit to it. Suit-wise, I don't know. I don't think so. I know you guys really want to see him in a cool suit because he looks bland. I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like if they officially made him White Wolf at the end of this, if there was some tie-in that the Wakandans came back and they actually referred to him, and he's like, because you wouldn't think he wanted to keep the Winter Soldier name, right? Especially after admitting his faults to the older Asian gentleman. Like, hey, I killed your son as the Winter Soldier. It's not my fault. I didn't mean to do it. You wouldn't want to keep that moniker, especially if, this baggage has been sitting on your back all this while. So if he had come out at the end of this episode and said, I'm the White Wolf, or something along those lines, especially at the very end where we got the rename of the show where it's Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I think it would have been official if the whole name had changed, Captain America and the White Wolf. Like, that would have been a rewarding, like, this is the path they're going. As for right now, big old question mark if they're going to fully commit to this. It's hard to say. We don't know. Yeah. Sam's clearly got a job now. Is Bucky still a Rambler, or is he tied to someone or something? I guess with Bucky, I guess they're just going to be palling around together. But other than that, no, he's free to do whatever he wants to. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't see the title change. Yeah, it's right as soon as, I think it was during the credits. It might have been before, like the credits, or it might have been just before the mid-credit scene, like that last thing to change before the scene came up with Sharon. But yeah, they showed the title, and it said Captain America and the Winter Soldier, so they officially changed it there. But yeah, that was episode 6, One World, One People of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the finale. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I hope you guys have enjoyed these chats as well. I enjoyed the series quite a bit. A lot of good action, a lot of good storytelling with these characters. I feel definitely more invested in Sam. Not that I didn't feel invested in the Falcon before, but I like the growth that he's showing. I know in the past I've talked about, like, why not just let Falcon be Falcon? Like, why does he have to take the Captain America mantle? And I didn't mean it like, oh, he shouldn't take it, because I knew he had taken it in the comics, and I was totally fine with that. I was just like, why can't we just build up Falcon to be more, than just a side character? And we are doing that. So I was wrong. I'm glad he's taking this mantle. I'm glad they're pushing him forward, and we're getting a lot of, like I said, storytelling with him, an investment with him. It's awesome. I'm glad to see that. It's going to be interesting to see where these characters go from here. Obviously, we have the Captain America 4 movie at some point. Whether the rumors are true of this series continuing to other seasons, I don't know. Time will tell. But we'll have to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this series. We still have more questions to be answered. Hopefully we figured out down the line. But this has been another episode of the Marvel Plus podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma 911, and I appreciate you guys hanging out for me with this series, talking theories and thoughts about the show as we go along. If you want to catch it live, it's over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat if you're a sub over there. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. It drops the very next day at on Mondays at noon Eastern, where it's put out on SoundCloud and YouTube for your enjoyment. So give it a watch, give it a listen. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Any things you want to see, any chats you want to have, whatever it is. I appreciate it. The next series for Disney Plus that is coming up is going to be Loki, and I believe that doesn't start until June. So we have quite a hiatus here. So the podcast is going to take a break until Loki does start and show up. I was debating maybe doing an episode or two to talk about the Black Widow movie, the trailers, because I haven't watched the third one yet, even though that released like a month ago. Maybe talking about Black Widow going into the film. Maybe talking about Shang-Chi a little bit more in the trailer that dropped there. But yes, once Loki does start up, this will be weekly once again. I know we're focusing on the Disney Plus stuff here with the Marvel Plus podcast, but maybe we'll talk about the movies too. Maybe when the Black Widow movie drops, we'll talk about that film and our thoughts and theories with that. But yes, I appreciate you guys hanging out for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the show. Give it a review, all that fun stuff. Any way we can make this better and just more entertaining would be greatly appreciated. But I'm glad you guys are liking it so far. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.